Namaskar, hello friends, a very warm welcome. And in this series of general knowledge, you can say, or you can say even current, but what we say is basically awareness. It is not about GK, it is not about content, it is not about information. So we are going to take up very important themes and questions, like the way we are always doing in a kind of ethical relationship, where we are trying to raise questions, trying to keep it simple, trying to make sure there is a difference, and it is going to help us in polishing our skills. So with that belief and with that mindset, we are going to start certain questions, certain ideas. सबसे पहले मैं बोलूंगा सागर संपर्क। सागर संपर्क, कौशिक जी आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे उसके बारे में?
So Sagar Sampark, so I have to guess in this Sagar Sampark.
ओके।
So it is a conference of the Indian Ocean region and littoral countries with regard to the stability and security of the Arabian and as well as the trade route from the Red Sea as well as the Persian Gulf. So it is Sagar Sampark, focusing on developing blue economy as well as uh, marine domain awareness
तो अगर
and
हम चर्चा
also
कर रहे हैं
yes, sir.
यूनाइटेड नेशन ऑफिस फॉर आउटर स्पेस अफेयर्स।
Yes. So Outer Space Treaty 1967 talks about कि space is a public good which needs to be safeguarded from illegal uses such as use of arms, etc. So for that we need certain kind of a regulatory institution, just like WTO, ILO. There has to be a United Nation outer for this outer space, so that in recent decades, when there is a rise of space mission, it can be regulated in all other aspects. For example, space debris, it can be also regulated for space deep space mission or is even sustainable use of the space.
अगर मैं आपसे बात करूं तीन रिफॉर्म्स जो हायर एजुकेशन में चाहिए वो क्या हैं? Tell me 3 points, three reforms which we need in context of higher education in the style of 1991 economic liberalization. We have to speak in the context of the mess and the current situation that we see with respect to NEET, JEE, and other high-stake examinations, and mushrooming of the coaching institutions, and lack of trust in exam bodies, bureaucratization of higher education institutions. तो इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर मैं तीन रिफॉर्म की बात करूं तो आप तीन रिफॉर्म क्या बताएंगे?
So in India, most of the good university as is at the central level. So we should promote federalization of the education system.
Very good
And
point. Yes.
second would be regarding the
So you want to say, if
quality.
I say you want to say tier two, there must be tier
Yes,
two
sir. Tier
institutions
2
in university.
institution. Yes, sir.
Tier.
For example, Punjab
Like,
University is one of the
hmm,
famous agriculture institution in India. Then,
correct.
sir, second would be regarding uh, teaching staff and the quality of teaching and if it is accustomed to the market demand or not. It should
Very
be
good.
there. Third
You
would be
want to
say
say
yes,
you want to say the second one. If I rephrase it, you must one must outcome linked grants to institutions.
outcome links grants. Yes,
Outcome, like IP, intellectual property rights हो सकता है, पेटेंट हो सकता है, रिसर्च ग्रांट हो सकता है, एंड इनरोलमेंट नंबर्स हो सकते हैं. ओके.
and so
एंड द
third
थर्ड
would
वन?
be universal literacy education for all. That should be uh, that should be from the following the standard of the RT, but we have to focus much more on infrastructure capability. That is raising fund for the local schools as well
Third one
as
you want
yes,
third one you want to say that is with
is a
respect to.
yes, for example social bond can be created for the infrastructure. Right now it is there. I think it is in Punjab social bond for the education. uh, it is there, sir, but it has to be replicated in a very large number. That is why enrollment ratio can be improved. Even gender inclusive infrastructure would be there, as well as new technologies such as blackboard,
Okay, what are the
digital board would be
guidelines?
there.
What are the
Yes.
guidelines given by CERT? Guidelines given by CERT India on information security practices.
Yes, sir. So guideline is talking about raising the awareness of the user. Second would be updating the software uh, that is being used in the organization, and other would be using of services, and that can be there, for example, antivirus, etc. And fourth would be prompt action taken by the institution. Digital information officer should be there in every institution that is focusing on cyber challenges and cyber security in that institution as well. That can be guidelines.
What is the United Nations High Commission on Refugees report on refugee crisis?
Yes, sir. So Refugee Convention 1951 drives the refugee status across the world. India is not a signatory of the 1951 convention. It has the UN has said that over the years refugee is increasing due to several factors. It can be ethnic, it can be war-torn countries, and also it can be of the climate refugees. The more focus is on climate refugees. So
आप ये बताइए क्या स्कूलों में स्मार्टफोन बैन होना चाहिए? व्हाट शुड बी इंडियाज वे अहेड? क्यों और
pardon,
कैसे? क्या स्कूलों में
school.
स्मार्टफोन बैन होना चाहिए?
Yes,
कैन यू हियर मी?
yes, sir.
क्या स्कूलों में स्मार्टफोन बैन होना चाहिए? मानसी, यू कैन आल्सो गिव योर ओन व्यू पॉइंट्स. स्मार्टफोन क्या बैन होना चाहिए, और है तो कैसे? क्योंकि अगर हम बात करें, इफ आई गिव एग्जांपल, तो कई देशों ने स्कूल में स्मार्टफोन पर बैन लगा दिया. यूनेस्को ने कहा है कि यू नो दैट मोबाइल डिवाइस इज मेकिंग distraction more easily coming up to the children, and it is having a negative impact. So there are countries which have actually banned. So that is why I want to ask you, what do you want to say with respect to India?
So I support the banning of the smartphone. I think there has to be certain kind of age gating, that is before below 18 years of age, and afterwards a mobile phone plays a very important role for note making as well as clicking the pictures that is on the blackboard. It is also used in university level, but at a school level it is a form of a distraction which can be avoided if it is banned, because
Okay,
every other
okay,
digital technology. Yes.
okay, that's fine. भूकंप नदियों के रास्ते कैसे बदल देंगे?
Yes, sir. So earthquake causes several. It has consequences on the land structure. For example, it causes soil liquefaction as well as it changes the courses of the groundwater seepage. That is why there has landslide, even land slipping leads to the change in course of the river.
ऐसा क्या इंडिया के एग्जांपल्स भी आप बता सकते हैं? जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं, कुमाऊं, इन द कुमाऊं रीजन, जो कोसी नदी जो पूरब की तरफ बहती थी, वो अब साउथ की तरफ बहने लगी, और आसपास का पूरा एरिया जो है वो, यू कैन से इट वाज फ्लडेड एंड इट वाज कंप्लीटली सबमर्ज्ड. सो क्लाइमेट चेंज जैसे जैसे रेगुलर पैटर्न को इम्पैक्ट करेगा, इट इज गोइंग टू मेक a great difference. Especially डेल्टा जो नदी वाले क्षेत्र हैं, वो मतलब कि they will be in complete focus. That's what we can say.
Yes, sir.
So you have to make sure that you know certain examples, जैसे हिमालयस, चीन, चाइना, ईरान, टर्की, चिली. सो इन सभी में आप देखिए बड़े बड़े जहां जहां पर प्रोजेक्ट हो रहे हैं, जहां पर बहुत बड़े बड़े, जैसे कोयना, कोयना का भूकंप अब तक का सबसे बड़ा और सबसे अधिक विनाशकारी, वो जलाश, उसने एक बहुत बड़ा सबमर्ज एरिया क्रिएट कर दिया था. और हिमालय की तराई रीजन में वी नो द एग्जांपल ऑफ टेहरी डैम. So that is also being questioned with respect to design. So that is why, what one thing you want to say with respect to this?
So if the river is changing its course, then focus should be made on developing a river bank. Even afforestation can play a very important role because it creates a certain kind of a binding element in the soil so that it does not change its course.
Okay. Mansi, can you answer me why Haryana is having 30% of medals with only 2% of population with respect to India's Olympics? Because Haryana is called India's Olympic nursery. Can you tell me what are the big factors, three or four big factors?
So three or four big factors. Firstly, we can say naturally we see that certain sports like be it wrestling or even increased women participation is seen in wrestling, or even when we're talking about the kabaddi, or recently we are seeing the javelin throw also. So natural element जो willpower बोलते हो, जो determination हम बोलते हैं in the
और
players or
एक
people in
फैक्टर है
the
और
Haryana
बताइए.
culture. Secondly, sir, we can say. Uh, So recently we are seeing even infrastructure that is also being focused upon specifically हरियाणा में, and particularly wrestling पे ज़्यादा focus किया जा रहा है. तो
Okay.
facilities,
Third
availability and
factor.
trade
Third factor.
factor. So we are seeing that even the political administration, they are also supporting the players. So there is again synergy between the policies also which are helping the players.
So any one word, Ashik, you want to add which is missing?
सर हरियाणा वी कैन से सोसाइटल जो एक सपोर्ट है हरियाणा में वो बहुत अलग है बाकी कंट्री में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल बॉलीवुड मूवी बनता है दंगल तो हरियाणा बेस्ड है, तो वो एक एक कल्चर ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स है. कबड्डी हो गया, तो कल्चर ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स होना जरूरी है बाकी कंट्री में, जो हरियाणा के पास ज़्यादा है एंड पंजाब के पास. एक ऑनर है स्पोर्ट्स में मेडल जीतना हरियाणा और पंजाब के लिए. एक रेसलिंग, वहाँ पर रेसलिंग कबड्डी से लेकर हर एक चीज़, कुश्ती और जिम्नास्टिक, जिम्नाजियम बोल सकते हैं जिम्नास्टिक, तो वो भी एक कल्चर है. तो वहाँ पर बाकी जगह कंट्रीज में कहीं ना कहीं
Okay, so one thing I would like to add here is very simple one, that there are assured jobs. There is an assured there is an assured government support. Haryana sports policy, including cash incentives and also job, that also makes a lot of difference. So Ashik, can you tell me, Bijli, lightning is becoming a big killer in India. टॉप 5 स्टेट्स में हमने पहले भी कई बार बात की है, मध्य प्रदेश, बिहार, उड़ीसा, यूपी, झारखंड, and there are more than thousands of cases every year. And climate change impact is a big factor in that. What is the solution? What is the way ahead? How to create a viable atmosphere that people understand that बिजली की गड़गड़ाहट जिंदगियां ना ले.
So
I must add
lightning,
here,
yes.
I must add here, your state, Jharkhand, having Gumla district, it had 30 deaths in 2023 in Gumla only.
Yes, sir. So 3 to 4 aspect is there regarding lightning. First is hyper local weather information services should be given disseminated to the people at through the mobile phone, SMS, etc. About the lightning activity, even thunderstorm. Second would be making people aware ki what steps should be taken if there is a lightning in surrounding region. For example, earthing should be there, as well as you should not take shade nearby trees, etc. That should be certain kind of a educational activity which can be promoted.
Yeah, we can also add, there are certain areas and regions. For example, Jharkhand, if I give you example, then you should think of Bay of Bengal, you should think of Chota Nagpur Plateau. Certain areas topography makes it more vulnerable for lightning. Because एक एवरेज लाइटनिंग जो होती है, एवरेज लाइटनिंग बोल्ट, इट कंटेन्स 5 बिलियन जूल्स ऑफ एनर्जी. 5 बिलियन, यानी कि 100 वाट का बल्ब आप 18 महीने के लिए जला सकते हैं उसको. सो टोपोग्राफी is very important. That is why Indian Institute of Topography, it is saying that not topography, I should say, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology says that there must be awareness campaigns, there must be dedicated, dedicated, as you said, that there must be dedicated infrastructure for that. Awareness in local languages, community meetings, and if there are other ways and some other idea you think, please share.
Yes, sir. 2 to 3 small things which can be promoted. That is, creation of Pakka houses under PM Awas. It can be a beneficial. Second would be स्लीपर्स और अम्ब्रेला का यूज होना चाहिए मोर एंड मोर. कभी कभी लाइव वायर एज वेल एज वो बेयर फुट के कारण भी होता है. तो
Okay. Standing Committee on Statistics. Significance and what can be its recommendations?
yes sir, statistics is very important to highlight the various challenges the country, right from poverty, gender, census, even delimitation and other aspect. So standing committee on statistics have talked about regarding the creation of a adequate data on the basis of highlighted by the PC Mahalanobis in 1950s. What should be the method and what protocols should be followed regarding statistics in India. Second would be focusing on more research with the help of Indian Institute of Statistics in Kolkata. Then, third would be focusing on legislative mechanism, how to create certain kind of a non-personal data that is protected, for example, under the DP Data Protection Act 2023. And so fourth would
Okay.
be inclusion of the other mechanism, for example,
Okay.
geotagging,
So,
even
the
satellite.
next question arises, India is in a fix for how long it can shelter ousted Bangladeshi PM. As a Foreign Secretary of India, what would be your, what stand? Because it's a moral dilemma. What we must do?
So, as a Foreign Secretary of India, it is my job to keep ex-PM Sheikh Hasina safe in Delhi and look for asylum in different countries. If she is not granted the asylum, then we can make her stay longer. At the same time, when the permission is granted by the government of Bangladesh, not BNP government, if the whole consensus rises in Bangladesh regarding the extradition, then we have to fulfill the condition, but we have to ensure that national security interest is secured. But for the meantime, we have to keep her, sir, on asylum basis. At the same time, look for asylum in other countries, if possible.
Mansi, you want to add something?
So if you can repeat the question, I was on a call.
Oh, no worries. I will go to the next question and then you will. In factual terms, what is Rule 176 versus Rule 267 and why it is in news?
So I have to guess. So this
Please.
rule is with regarding to the ethics committee. Rule 267 176. It is regarding to expungements of the terms in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha.
Okay. Mansi?
So I'm not sure about it.
Okay. What are the 4 things we must focus to have more robust urban cooperative banks? I repeat, हमें क्या करना चाहिए जिससे हम robust urban cooperative banks create कर सकें?
Yes, sir. So you have to focus on Antyodaya, last mile delivery. Second would be transparency in banking asset. For example, inclusion under PCA by RBI, prompt corrective action. Third would be the role of PACS would be there for awareness and how it can be used in large amount through use of KCC. And so fourth would be computerization of the cooperative banking, and so that it becomes more transparent and accountable to the needs of the investor as well as the members of the cooperative.
Sir, also independent and the autonomy of their functioning, particularly because we are seeing the political influence or they're politically driven. And secondly, we need to ensure that there are periodic financial audits which are happening. there is
Ashik?
financial divergence.
Correct. Ashik, the center went on to take decision recently to tweak the budget proposal on long-term capital gains tax on immovable property transaction. I repeat, it went on to tweak the budget proposal on long-term capital gains tax on immovable property transactions. But this episode even would have cost it some of its capital with taxpayers, because budget has proposed a major change in the principles of taxation for long-term capital gains on several assets by doing
Yes,
away
sir.
with the concept of indexation. So what are the lessons? What are the lessons for government from this LTCG, that means long-term capital gain tax episode? Lessons क्या?
So lessons is that before the budget there has to be certain kind of a consultation, public consultation at large. Second would be government is accountable to the people, and if there is a demand with regarding to taxation and other thing, then government can act on it. So third would be regarding the focusing on different sources of revenue, which will promote more fiscal prudence rather than increasing the taxation and that is showcased by the government, as criticized by the several
Want
scholars.
to add something?
So given LTCG on again real estate sector has been again withdrawn the decision regarding that. So we can just ensure that we need to properly assess what is the correct timing of the implementation, as we talked this in
Yes.
relation to GST
So
implementation.
you want to say the process of policy making should be more robust.
Right, sir.
बजट टेक्स्ट प्रपोजल्स मस्ट बी थॉरली, जैसा आशिक ने भी बोला, कंसल्टेशन होना चाहिए स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ, एंड सेंटर मस्ट प्रैक्टिस व्हाट इट प्रीचेस टू रेगुलेटर सच एज सेबी हो गया, आरबीआई हो गया. दैट इज व्हाट वी कैन से. क्लाइमेट स्मार्ट एग्रीकल्चर के दो एग्जांपल्स आशिक इंडिया में.
The climate smart agriculture example is organic farming of Sikkim, and second would be agroforestry that is being promoted under the also the Campa fund, as well as new green carbon bond that is being promoted by the IAFR, climate smart.
So using genetic engineering also, as we have seen recently, when Prime Minister has launched 109 climate smart or climate resilient seeds. So that is one of the examples, and promotion of cultivation of millets also, because they are again climate resilient crops.
आशिक, अगर आपसे कोई कहता है ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट बड़ा ना हाई कोर्ट बड़ा, तो सबसे बड़ा क्या है?
सबसे बड़ा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है सर.
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. तो आप ये बताइए कि जो मतलब ह्यूमन एंथ्रोपोजेनिक एक्टिविटीज हैं जिसके वजह से हम नेचर में इंटरवेंशन कर रहे हैं बहुत ग्लोबल लेवल के ऊपर, 3 एग्जांपल्स बताइए, और इंडिया का भी एक बता दीजिए. 3 मतलब इंडिया वर्ल्ड मिला के, जो इस कॉन्सेप्ट को हमारे पर्सपेक्टिव से रखें.
So first example would be high usage of plastic in day-to-day lives. Second is over exploitation of the oil and natural gases, use of coal for fueling our electricity and energy demands. Third would be consumerism at a large scale. That is why it is affecting the whole biodiversity. Creation of the new hotspot is there, even melting of the glacier, Antarctic sheet, etc. It is a consequence of anthropogenic emission and also the climate change. Yeah.
So in context of what we call it, the biological intervention that we are doing, like you rightly said, plastic. लेकिन प्लास्टिक की जगह हम ह्यूमन मेड, अगर हम मटेरियल या ह्यूमन कंस्ट्रक्शन की बात करें या ह्यूमन इंड्यूस्ड डेवलपमेंट की बात करें, सो वी आर क्रिएटिंग मोर देन मतलब 30 अरब टन, अगर मैं सिंपल भाषा में कहूँ, एक साल में हो रहा है. हमने 100 सवा सालों में ऐसा कर लिया, अगर हम ऐसा ही करते रहे तो 2040 तक आते आते पृथ्वी पर जीवन का जो है दायरा ही सिकुड़ जाएगा। तो उसके लिए एक सॉल्यूशन क्या है, एक सॉल्यूशन बताइए।
So achieving the national determined contribution by each country under the Paris Climate Change Summit.
मानसी आप बताइए, कोई आइडिया?
So we need to have again a global synergy, a global agreement, because here we are seeing difference between developed and developing countries. जब हम बात करते हैं even historical responsibilities, common and differentiated responsibilities of the developed world. So that agreement, global agreement, all the countries need to be on same page.
ओके। औशिक, जो स्पेशली एबल्ड चिल्ड्रन है या जो स्पेशली एबल्ड पीपल हैं, उनको जब बच्चों को आश्रय गृह जिसे हम कहते हैं शेल्टर होम्स में भेजा जाता है, और बार बार ये दिल्ली हो, इंदौर हो, मुंगेर हो, मुजफ्फरपुर हो, क्या सॉल्यूशन है इसका? कैन यू टेल मी सम पॉलिसी फ्रेमवर्क इन अ वेरी क्विक वे कि ये होना चाहिए और ऐसे होना चाहिए? मानसी, you also be ready with that.
Yes, sir. It is an example of adoption by the family, sir. Solution would be, sir, creating of the safe space and making the people aware that is adoption can be a part of the solution regarding nurturing of children rather than focusing only on birth. Most of the urban spaces, they are suitable, but we have to focus on attitudinal change in the rural areas also, sir. So challenges is there with regard to regulatory framework regarding child adoption, as well as, sir, creating of a certain kind of mechanism. Policy level is needed.
Mansi, you want to add something, please, before we wind up
So I
this?
think the role of Kara is very important here particularly. So we can say it needs to work more robustly and more actively.
Okay, thank you very much to both of you and a lot of our other students and candidates who are working at different stages and also at different levels, and rest of the India also, who are actually trying to create an ecosystem for them, and we are also trying to create a framework and benchmark. Let's all together try to achieve success, because each one of you is having their own dream, own aspirations, और उनका अपना एक सोचने का तरीका है जो कि उन्हें बेस्ट दिलाएगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।